Hello everyone and welcome. In the previous video we understood what LangGraph really means. We broke down the official definition, low-level orchestration framework runtime, long-running stateful agents. And we also touched the three core concepts in LangGraph, which is state, nodes and edges. Now in this video we need to make one very important distinction, that is the main difference between workflow and agent. If you look at the main differences, not every AI system should be called an agent. Sometimes what we really need is a workflow. Sometimes we need an agent, and sometimes, and more often as well, we need a combination of both, which is basically workflow and an agent. Let's understand what is workflow and what is agent. A workflow follows a predetermined code paths. An agent, as we discussed earlier, it is dynamic and can design its own process and tool uses while it's running. In simple terms, if the structure is already known, that is usually a workflow. If the system needs to figure out the structure while it's running, that is called an agent. Let us go back to the customer support example. In that particular case, we already know the steps like reading the email, classify the issue, route it to the right team, draft a response, and send it for the approval if required. That is a workflow. Why? Because even if it branches, the structure is still designed in advance. Now take a different case. A customer sends a complicated message, and now the system needs to decide, should I search for existing documentation? Should I need to look for existing ticket history? Or do I need to ask more details? Or should I escalate this to a human? Or should I retry with the different approaches? Now the path is not fully fixed in advance. The system is deciding what to do while it's running, and this is called an agent. So the easiest way to remember the difference between workflow and agent is workflow means you define the path, agent means the system defines the path. Now one more important point is a lot of people assume workflow means simple and agent means advanced, but that is not the right way to think about it. A better way is workflow is controlled and agent is adaptive. Workflows are really useful when you want predictability, control, and clear testing and clear routing. Agents are useful when you want flexibility, dynamic reasoning, tool decisions at runtime, and adaptation to the context. And this is where LangGraph becomes very powerful because LangGraph supports both. As we discussed, some problems are mostly workflow, some problems are strongly agentic. And in many real systems that we observe, it will sit in the middle, which is called hybrid approach. That means in real application, the best design is often hybrid. Use workflow for the stable parts and use agent behavior only when flexibility is actually needed. If you look into our current example, intake can be fixed, validation can be fixed, approval can be fixed, but investigation or reasoning in the middle can be dynamic. That is often a much better design than trying to make everything fully agentic. So the key takeaway from this video is simple. Use a workflow when you know the structure. Use an agent when the system needs to figure out the structure at the runtime. And LangGraph gives you the foundation to build both. In the next video, we'll move from concepts into implementation and build the first LangGraph application.